Now we come to a study of the extent of Antichrist's kingdom. This is one of the most important subjects of the Word of God in modern prophetic circles. I suppose the most misunderstood subject of the entire Bible. We've got a lot of misunderstanding, got a lot of prophetical speculation, and this one beats them all, I guess. I've heard all my life that the Antichrist is going to reign over Georgia, is going to reign over all the states in America, South America, all the countries of Africa and Europe and Asia and Australia and New Zealand and the islands of the sea and every little crossroad in the whole world will have to take a mark of the beast or be killed. And the only way you'll ever be saved during those days is to refuse to take the mark and die for your own testimony or die for the cause of Christ. And that you cannot buy or sell in those days in any part of the world unless you take a mark of the beast and worship the Antichrist. And all the rest of the folk are going to be killed off. I'm going to show you how utterly unscriptural that is, and it'll be simple to you. In our statement of the book of Daniel, we saw that the Antichrist is coming within the old Roman Empire. That is coming out of 10 kingdoms formed inside of the Roman Empire. Those 10 horns were explained to be 10 kingdoms located inside the Roman Empire, not outside. Now, if it says the 10 kingdoms are out of this kingdom, then that's where they're located. Out of means from within. That locates the kingdom of the Antichrist. The Antichrist will come out of one of 10 kingdoms inside of the Roman Empire and will get power over the whole 10 kingdoms by the middle of Daniel's 70th week. And he'll reign 42 months over those 10 kingdoms. Now, if you can find the United States and Mexico and all of North and South America and all of Africa and all of Australia, New Zealand, the islands of the sea, and every part of the whole world outside the Roman Empire, find all those countries inside the Roman Empire, then I'll agree with you that the Antichrist rules the whole world. But when the Bible says definitely in plain English that the Antichrist is going to come inside the Roman Empire and get power only over 10 kingdoms located inside the Roman Empire, then to be sensible I must limit my understanding of the doctrine in that connection. Now, to prove that further, the beast of Revelation 13 had only 10 horns, didn't it? The trouble with Bible scholars, they've stuck about 55 other horns on that old beast. They've gone in the horn manufacturing business, evidently. And they've stuck horns all over that beast, but the Bible said he only had 10. Now, let me show you how simple it is. The Bible tells you where they're located inside the Roman Empire, Daniel 7:23 and 24. Revelation 17, verse 12, it explains these 10 horns. The 10 horns are 10 kings, not 65 kings, but 10, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These shall have one mind, proving their individual kings, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Now, where are they located? Inside the Roman Empire. I'll give you the reference again. Daniel 7:23 and 24. All right, if these have one mind and give their kingdom to the beast, and they're located only inside the Roman Empire, then that is where the Antichrist will get his power, and those are the countries he will reign over, and those are the kings that will cooperate with him and give their power to him, and not all the rulers of the earth outside of the 10 kingdoms located inside the Roman Empire. Then we read in verse 14 of the 17th of Revelation that these, the 10, shall make war with the Lamb. But the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is King of kings and Lord of lords. They that with him be called chosen and faithful. In verse 16, it says, these shall hate the whore, and shall burn her flesh with fire, and make her desolate and naked, for God hath put it in their hearts, the hearts of the 10, to agree and give their kingdom to the beast. So if both Daniel and Revelation plainly limit the kingdom of the Antichrist to 10 kingdoms inside of the Roman Empire, who are we to come along and say, now, Mr. Daniel, you didn't know what you were talking about. You just didn't hear our modern prophetic scholars. That's the only trouble with you. Or to come along to Mr. John and say, you're wrong, because our modern prophetic scholars tell us that the Antichrist is going to reign over all kingdoms on the earth and going to kill off everybody who doesn't take his mark. So I can't believe you, Daniel or John or any of you men who wrote the Bible. We have to believe the men who interpret the Bible in modern times. Now, I would be of that class at all. Let all the rest of the folk deny the Word of God if they want to, but you stand by what it says. If it says 10 kingdoms inside the Roman Empire, then that settles it as far as I'm concerned. It should as far as you're concerned. Now, to prove to you further that the Antichrist kingdom is limited, we have certain statements in the Bible that certain countries are going to escape the Antichrist. Daniel 11:41. He shall enter into the glorious land. Many, not all, many countries shall be overthrown by him, but these shall escape out of his hands, 3 of them, even Edom and Moab and chief of the children of Ammon. Now, who are we to say to Daniel, you told us a lie there. You didn't really mean that, did you, Daniel, when you said 3 countries would escape the Antichrist? And here I've been told all my life that there wouldn't be any country escape him. Who am I going to believe? Why, you make up your mind to believe what Daniel said, what John said, what God said to the prophets. If God said 3 countries would escape the Antichrist, then that should settle. That would prove that the Antichrist is not going to rule the world. That would disprove this modern theory we've all been taught from childhood up, that the Antichrist is going to rule over all the world. Just that one statement alone. 3 countries are named as escaping the Antichrist. And it says many, not all, will escape him. Then in verse 44 of the same chapter, said, but tidings out of the north and out of the east shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many. Who are these countries fighting against this man that's supposed to be ruling the whole world and putting a mark on everybody or killing off everybody? If there are no countries that are not against him, then it'll all be for him. If all are for him, then there wouldn't be any countries against him. Who are these countries? Why, the countries north and east of the old Roman Empire. North and east of these 10 kingdoms. Said he's fighting with them, and that's the very time everybody's supposed to be worshiping him. So there you have not only 3 countries named that will escape him, but you have in the same chapters many countries and all the countries in the north and east of the 10 kingdoms that will escape the Antichrist. Then in Matthew 25:31 to 46, we read of the judgment of the nations. He'll gather the nations and he'll separate them as a shepherd divides the sheep from the goats. He'll say to the sheep, on his right hand, come ye blessed, inherit the kingdom. He'll say to the goats, depart from me, accursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Who are these? Why, they're people that go into the kingdom, many of them, people who are sent to hell at the beginning of the kingdom. And in Zechariah 14, verse 16, it shall come to pass that whosoever is left of all the nations which came up against Jerusalem under the Antichrist shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Whosoever shall not go up of all the families of the earth, upon them there shall be no rain. If the family of Egypt go not up, they have no rain. Here we have the Egyptians mentioned as living in the kingdom. While in Daniel 11 we read the land of Egypt will not escape the Antichrist. So even people under the 10 kingdoms, or in the 10 kingdoms, and under the Antichrist, they'll even escape the mark of the beast. Well, you say, how can that be? Well, it's very simple. Let's recognize that John is simply telling us in Revelation 13 that the Antichrist will make a law that all kindreds and tongues and nations must worship him or be killed. But let's use a little sense along with that understanding, with that idea, and realize that he cannot make a law concerning anybody outside of his 10 kingdoms. And let's go a little further and recognize making a law is one thing, enforcing a law in such a vast territory as the old Roman Empire in connection with every person, that's another thing. Well, even folk around these cities in America, they escape, and yet they break some laws. All right, now then, if you look at it in that light, you can understand Revelation 13 in this connection, and it'll make everything very clear. The Antichrist makes a law to that effect, but he cannot possibly enforce it even inside of his 10 kingdoms in such a short period as 1,260 days or 42 months or 3.5 years. So many will escape, even taking the mark inside, and all will escape the mark outside if they want to. All countries that are not in these 10 kingdoms.